technology is something that we can and should be using as much as we can. For some, it's a barrier to entry. And I fully believe that gamification should not be stopped because we don't have the technology to do it. But when you think about training, I mean, as trainers, we kind of live in this little fantasy world. We've got this fantasy that we can do things like increase customer satisfaction and increase employee performance, save time, save money, get more employees engaged and help improve retention, enhance company profits. I mean, that's what we've been hired to do, right? And then we're asked for some measurable ROI on that. And it suddenly becomes a little bit different. Now tell me, I know that most of you in here, you already have leveled up your training and development, so that these kind of things probably don't happen in your training. Tell me if you've ever sat in one of these that is really more the reality of a lot of training. How is this relevant? What time is this over? What a waste of time, a waste of money. He's talking me into a coma. Have you ever felt that way? Oh my God, stick a pencil in my eye, kill me now. If I have to stick it, we've been there, right? We've all been there. And that's the thing that training and development has gotten such a negative rap because a lot of times we have just done non-brain friendly lectures and literally talked people into a coma. And the fun thing about gamification is that although we do need, gamification is fun. It's got, you know, when you look at gamification, it's almost like those like a little kid pressed up against the candy store window, just drooling at those sweet confections and just thinking, oh, I want some of that. Look how fun that would be. We could add things like trophies and badges and levels. We could give them unlocks and rewards and even Easter eggs. Oh my gosh, it would be so great. And then we start looking at the reality of it. So when you think about a fully developed gamified training where you have it with like a virtual reality and an enhanced UX, user experience, and you've got avatars and you've got a variety of levels, what do you think might be a cost a company would pay on average to start at ground zero and design and deliver some kind of gamified training? Any guesses on that? Per training hour, 50 grand. Now, I know I just spent some of y'all's whole budget for the year, didn't I? Wow. So adding all these costs together, it's any wonder that we're going to get some pushback on gamification. And it gets a little bit worse. We've got all the cash, and then Gartner Research, which is a business research, Gartner Research, they predict that by 2018, 80% of all gamified applications will fail. 80% fail, like not reach their objectives. They had objectives that the reason they were gamifying it was to do this, to make this happen, and it doesn't reach their objective. It doesn't have the outcome that they're looking for, 80%. When you look at gamification, just because you can add technology to something, it doesn't mean that you should. Have you ever experienced some things in life that you really wanted to say to somebody, you know, just because you can? No, you should. Have you been there? Let me show you a couple examples of that. I'm just saying. New stretch pants when you absolutely positively want to scare the business out of somebody. I'm thinking, this point, didn't she have like any friends or family members that would tell her, not a good fashion choice? And where's her supervisor at work? And they evidently didn't do training about attire on that. All right, that doesn't involve technology. That was just a little bit mean. So let's get to something with technology. All right, so I was a small business development counselor and saw all kinds of different interesting patents. How about a motorized ice cream cone holder? So you put your ice cream in this cone and you turn it on, the ice cream will spin for you. That's all I gotta do. The man who wrote the language for the patent, the reason he was designing it, it was good, his heart was good. He said that little children's tongues get tired from licking ice cream cones, so we're gonna make it easier for them by motorizing it. I know. All right, let's not pick on the little kids. They're little kids. Their tongues get tired. All right, motorized ice cream cone. But again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Now, here's another one. This one is a farting alarm clock. When you set the time in the morning, it wakes you up with farts. I'm thinking we probably don't need that. I'm thinking that there's probably enough of that going on anyhow. We don't need any more of that in the bedroom, right? So when you think about it, some thought, this is a great idea. We can make lots of money on it. It'll be really funny. We can add technology. It works. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. When we go back to gamification and how much fun it is and how good it looks, and we're trying to sell it to our CEO or our CFO, if we come in talking about, and it'll make people have more fun at work, and they'll feel better about themselves, and they'll just want to come to work in the morning because they get to play games. Do you see any CEOs or CFOs signing off on that? Not one bit, right? Because we're not talking their language. Anytime we're going to sell the program, and you know this, we got to bring it back. We got I say dollarize it. That's the term I call it is dollarize it. You got to bring it back to some kind of measurable ROI that you're going to show them. How is this really going to save time, save money, reduce turnover, improve employee engagement? You've all read that study about employee engagement, right? And like 20% of employees are so disengaged with their workforce that they're not just disengaged, they're doing things like sabotaging. That's pretty disengaged. So when you're trying to sell to the person who's making the financial decisions, we got to bring them stuff that will actually show the return on investment that they're looking for. What's important to them? How do we sell it? And we can sell it via a game. But if we just try and talk about how much fun it's going to be, that's not going to work. Now, this is just some baselines. Again, if you email me, I'll send you the complete deck. And this comes from Chapman's. But your basic instructor-led training, it's right in 6th grade. You're starting at ground zero. You have nothing developed for a training program. So just a basic training program of learning. A level 1, which is just a few tests, like you can do some tests and like put the information and they can test. That's right at 10. Some interactive, where not only are you testing, but there is some interaction. That's at a little over 18. And then, of course, the advanced is up at 50. If I know I have an 80% chance of failure, and I want to introduce gamification because I know we can do this. I know we can start at a place that we feel good about it, and we can play test it and iterate it and prove with the ROI. I'm thinking that just because we can add technology, it doesn't mean that we should. So that's why I put together I have a trademark system that I call Game the System. And it is actually the 5 steps that you walk through to design a low-tech or no-tech gamification. So some people, you can do a hybrid, but we're still staying at that low end of training dollars. So I want us to actually experience some gamification tonight. Because the best way to learn about gamification is to actually do it. So the first thing I'm going to need us to do is to get into groups of no more than 8, no less than 6. So 6 to 8 people in a group. And the easiest way to do that might be to just kind of group with tables like this. Like turn you guys, y'all. I don't want to micromanage you. I know that you can do this. So 6, 8 max, 6 minimum. Are you with them? Good. You're good. All right. Now we need to pick our team captain. We need a team captain of your team. Everybody put your right hand up in the air. Make 3 small circles. 1, 2, 3. Point to someone on your team.